For 0.4, we're going to use the distributive property in like terms. So to simplify an expression, the first step is you look and see if anything needs to be distributed, or you look for parentheses. The second step is you combine like terms if you see any like terms. Okay, so for number 1, the direction says simplify. First step, distribute. So I'm going to look for parentheses. I can see parentheses right here. There's a number in front of the parentheses, so I'm going to take this 4 and I'm going to distribute it to the parentheses. So this is going to go here and here. 4 times x is 4x, plus 4 times 7 is 28. The plus 10x I leave alone because it was not in parentheses, but I don't want to forget it. It's still there. Okay, I finished distributing. Now I'm going to see if there's like terms. Okay, so if I start with the 4x, I want to see, is there any other terms that also have an x? Not the 28. The 10x has an x. Okay, now when I look at the 10x, I care about the symbol in front of it. This has a plus in front of it. The plus is what tells me what to do with like terms, whether to add them or subtract them. So this is really saying 4x plus 10x, which is 14x. 4 plus 10 is 14. That plus 28, I ignored it, but I can't lose it. It has to come down. Okay, if you feel confident, go ahead and copy the second one and try it on your own. Pause, and then check answers with me. Okay, for number 2, I see parentheses again. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute here and here. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. And then that plus 7x at the end that was hanging out is going to be brought down. Okay, now for like terms, let's see. If I start with the 5x, is there any other x's? There's a 7x. And the symbol in front matters because right here in front is a plus sign. So this is really saying 5x plus 7x, which is 12x. And then I'm going to bring down the plus 10, which didn't have a like term. Okay, if you're feeling good, go ahead and copy number 3. Try it on your own. Pause it so I don't show you the answer before you're ready. Okay, number 3, very similar. Because I can see parentheses out here, I'm going to do this distribution step first. The parentheses and the number in front of the parentheses is 5, so I'm doing this and this. Okay, now let's see. That's a positive 5, so I'm going to do positive 5x. 5 times minus 9, minus 45. Okay, and I am going to bring down the 2x and the plus sign. I finished the distributing step. Now I'm going to look for like terms. Okay, if I start with 2x, are there any like terms to 2x? 2x plus the 5x is 7x. And then the minus 45 can just stay at the end where it was. Okay, if you haven't copied number 4, copy number 4. Okay, first I'm going to look for the parentheses again. I see the parentheses back here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute the number in front of the parentheses. This. That's a 3x plus 3 times 7 is 21. And I'm going to bring down this x plus. Now this x looks a little funny. But if I keep in mind, if I have an x, I have exactly 1x. I can always put a 1 in front. And sometimes that helps people keep track of how to add the like terms. Okay, now that I know that's a 1x, I'm going to go ahead and look for like terms. See, 1x, there's a 3x. Okay, what sign's in front of it? A plus. So this is 1x plus 3x. 1x plus 3x, 1 plus 3 is 4x. And I'll go ahead and bring down the plus and the 21. Okay, let's keep going. I'm just going to start switching up the constants a little bit and changing some negatives, but always look and see if there's parentheses first, and if so, distribute. So this 5 times 2x is 10x, plus 5 times 3 is 15, and then that minus 6 I'll bring down. Okay, let's check for like terms. 10x, oh, there's no other x's, so let me just write 10x, because he has no x's to combine with. Okay, now let me look. Now I have a 15 and a minus 6. Now they both don't have a variable, so I can figure out what 15 minus 6 is. 15 minus 6 is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Positive 9, so plus 9. Okay, that's my final answer. There's no like terms, there's no parentheses. Okay, I'm going to go ahead to the next one. Let's see. If I see parentheses, I'm going to distribute. Here, here. 4x plus 4 times 11 is 44. The 5 and the plus come down. Okay, let me look at this. It actually doesn't matter if you start with the x's or the not x's, but the only x I see is positive 4x, so she's going to stay the same. Now I'm going to look what's left. I have this 5, what else? Plus 44. I can do 5 plus 44. 5 plus 44 is positive 49. So 4x plus 49 is my final answer. Okay, for number 7, I'm going to start throwing in more negatives, but it will be the same concept. First, we look for parentheses to distribute, and then we use like terms. Okay, I can see the parentheses, they're right here. Okay, but I am distributing a negative 3. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15x. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Okay, that's going to be one of the hard steps. Then I'm going to bring down the positive and the 2x. Okay, now I'm going to look for like terms. I have a negative 15x. Are there any other x's? Yes, there's a plus 2x. So this is negative 15 plus 2. Okay, it's going to be a negative answer because the negative 15 is more negative. Okay, since there are opposite signs, I subtract. 15 minus 2 is 13. And I'm going to keep an x on it. Okay, then what's left? The minus 12 is left, so I'm going to bring that down at the end. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try another one with negatives. If you're confident, you're welcome to do it on your own and then check. Okay, I see the parentheses, so I want to do this and this. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Okay, minus 2 times minus 4 is going to cancel to a positive 8. The minus on the outside always changes all the signs. I'm going to bring down the plus 7. Okay, let's check out the like terms. Okay, let's see, I have a minus 2x. Are there any other x's? No, so I'm going to keep the minus 2x alone. Okay, now what I have at the end, positive 8 plus 7. 8 plus 7 is positive 15. So that's my answer, negative 2x plus 15. Okay, for the last 4, I'm going to try to make them a little trickier. I can see the parentheses on here, and I definitely see there's an 8 here. The trick on this is that this is actually a minus 8, because the sign in front tells me this is a negative 8. So when I distribute, I have to make sure I distribute negative 8. So minus 8 times x is going to be minus 8x. Minus 8 times minus 7 is going to cancel to positive 56. It's probably the trickiest step in the problem. Okay, and then the 10x is just going to come down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look for like terms. This is a 10x. Okay, and then I have a minus 8x next to it. So 10x minus 8x is 2x. And then that plus 56 can just come down at the end. Okay, the next one's very similar. It has a minus that needs to be distributed. Okay, so I can tell I'm going to distribute the 3, but this is actually a minus 3 because the sign in front of the number tells you the sign. So minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Minus 3 times 5 is minus 15. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring down the 7x, and then we're going to look for like terms. Okay, 7x, is there any other x's? There's a 3x, and the sign in front of the 3x is a minus. So this is 7x minus 3x, which is 4x. Let me bring down the minus 15 at the end, and that's a good answer. These are getting tricky. Okay, so if you're getting them off, don't worry too much. We'll practice them more. Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and these just kind of have a lot going on. Okay, for 11, there's a lot going on, but just look first for the parentheses. I can see parentheses, and I'm going to distribute the 3. There's a plus sign in front of the 3, so it's a positive 3, so I don't have to stress too much over the signs. So 3x, 3 times 5 minus 15. Okay, when I bring down the other terms, I need to bring down all the other terms. There we go, we have 4 terms. Okay, let's see if there's any x's. 2x, oh, I have a plus 3x. Oh, but I also have a plus 4x. So I need to add up all 3 terms. Let's see, 2x plus 3x is 5x, 5x plus 4x is 9x. Okay, and then I just have that minus 15, which I cannot forget about. Okay, last problem is a challenge problem. Let's see if you can do it. Pause if you want to try it on your own first. Okay, I do see the parentheses, they're here. Okay, but I can also see there's a minus in front of the 6, which means I'm distributing a negative 6. So negative 6 times 3 makes it negative 18. Okay, negative 6 times negative x, let's put a 1 here. Negative 6 times negative 1 is positive 6, and I'm going to keep an x on it. Okay, let me try to bring down the 10x and the 4. What is that? That's a minus 4. Okay, now when you combine like terms, it doesn't matter if you do the x's first or the constants first. I like to do the x's first. So 10x, where's another x? Right here, plus 6x. 10x plus 6x is 16x. Okay, we're okay so far. Okay, then I have the minus 18, and the sign in front matters. So minus 18 and a minus 4. Well, that's definitely going to be negative because that's a lot of negatives. Okay, if I have negative 18 and negative 4, I need to add them up because I'm going to have a lot of negatives. So now I have 22 negatives. That's my final answer, and that was a tough one. If you got that the first try, congratulations.